but I was like so self-centered and just who I was. The idea of helping someone else like every day like that was a burden to me. It was, and I would talk to my therapist about it, talk to my sponsor about it, and we started like getting to like the core of this thing. And a lot of it was like, ego based, obviously, but it was like insecurity. The reason why I wanted recognition is because I didn't feel like you noticed me at all. And then I developed this thing called self-acceptance where I didn't have to be noticed anymore. So helping my grandmother was no longer a burden. It was something that I enjoyed doing because I loved being there for her. I still help my grandmother. I'm her medical proxy, her power of attorney, her executor of her will. She was my greatest victim at the end, and service started with my grandmother. And it didn't start in a place of gratitude. It was like, I have to do this. And it turned into, I get to do this. And then I stopped doing service and other committees like within Narcotics Anonymous, and it taught me the same thing. It taught me it's not about me. It's about the we, right? It's what can I do to help you, to help us? And that's the most important thing. I don't particularly like having an elected position because I don't like being the one that has to write a report and also get the blame at the same time. I don't like that. It's not fun for me. I'd rather just show up, tell me what you need to do, and I'll do it. But it happens from time to time. I end up with a title, right? And I think the first service position while I was the chairperson of was an outreach committee in my area, and we didn't have an outreach chair like for years. I just showed up because I thought it sounded cool. I'm like, hey, outreach sounds pretty cool. I'm going to do that. I had no idea what it was about. I'm like, I'm just going to do that. It's an open position. It has a cool title. I'll do that. And there was no guidelines, right? No one knew what outreach was supposed to do. So I got to like create this new version of what outreach was for my area. And that was cool. So I tapped into this thing called creativity, and it allowed me to like start seeing what's important to me. And when I learned that outreach position was reaching out to other people is so important to me because it makes me feel so connected. I started going to meetings when I was 16 and I got clean when I was 21. And a lot of the times, like I would go to these meetings for NA to get my court slip signed. A lot of people didn't come up to me. I was young. And I was a punk too. Like I had a blue mohawk. I was very outspoken. Like I wasn't a pleasant person to be around to begin with, but like no one came up to me and I just felt like an outsider. And it really took me getting just beat down emotionally before people started to come up to me. And I think like you could see it. You could see it on my face that I was just dying. And at that time, it didn't matter if I had the mohawk. It didn't matter if I was angry. Like it didn't stop you guys from coming up to me. But it took that much for me to be willing to kill myself for someone to come up and give me a hug. So reaching out to people through outreach for me is that. Like going out to the people that don't feel like they're a part of us, the meetings that don't show up to the area ASC meetings, the service committees. We're going, we call it meetings on wheels, right? The people that are hospital bound or homeward bound, taking meetings into them, like doing those things to remind every individual addict that they're a part of us and we're a part of them. That action like kept me humbled because I remember what it felt like to not feel like I was plugged in, and having the opportunity to go out to other people was so fulfilling to me. And I caught the bug, right? I caught it. Like I just wanted to do more of that type of work. And I went through various positions through the area and through the region. And my friend Jamie asked me, he goes, hey, when they do alternate delegate position for elections, would you be interested in doing that? Not really. I mean, it sounds like you guys have to do like these big lengthy reports and it's a lot of work. And I don't really want to do that. I just want to show up and do like one little thing at a time. And the whole method was, well, we'd like someone new that had never done it before. I'm like, so I told him, like, if no one else runs for it, I'll go. So I was the only person that was quote unquote running for it that had never been a delegate before. So I ended up getting this position. And the first thought to my head was, I'm not going to swear, right? But I wasn't thrilled because I would hear the other delegates, like I would hear the reports and they were like 4 or 5 pages long and they seemed to know like everything. They could quote every one of our concepts and every one of our traditions front and back and explain. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I barely got out of high school. So I started that process, right? And service in that form really showed me what it was like to not be about me. That position, like, it helped my writing. Like, I had to pay for this Grammarly thing to actually help my writing, but writing those reports helped my writing abilities, which transferred into my school, right? Learning how to lead workshops in that position helped me to be comfortable with who I am in front of other people. Like, that position offered me so much. And the purpose of that was for me to serve my region. It was me standing up in front of the 538 groups that we represented and said, what do you guys need from us? And let us do that for you. That was the point of it, right? It was to serve those people. It wasn't to serve me, but what I got out of that, I wasn't prepared for. Like, I didn't think that was even a possibility. We do the conference thing, and it was virtual. 2020 that was my first and only conference, right? And it again, it wasn't necessarily fun for me. I don't like staring at the Zoom screen for a long time, but what I enjoyed was being able to show up and proudly say, like, I'm representing the New England region. Like, that made me feel so happy. Like, so many people felt like they trusted me enough to allow me to do this for them. And that was amazing. You know, that was absolutely amazing. And I didn't ask for any of it. Like, they chose me and they allowed me to do this stuff for them. And it feels great. Every time I'd give a report, I would ask them, like, what do you want me to do? And like, I would try to get feedback. What do you need from me? Like, constantly giving back, because in a leadership position, I'm not effective if I have no one to serve, and I don't have anyone to serve if I'm not communicating with you. So I would constantly, like, ask for feedback on everything that we were doing. Total transparency. Every one of my reports, as soon as I get information, I blasted. We have a Slack we use to communicate with. So I put all the information out there. Like, I just did that, right? Total transparency, gave me reports, try to encourage people to communicate. And people said I was effective in that role. And I don't understand what that means. I just felt like I was getting better at writing reports. That's what it felt like. But they they let me serve for them, and it was great. And then this conference ended, and I chose not to pursue the delegate position because I wanted to help my local fellowship more, like, directly. So I do that through fellowship development. And again, the idea is for me to show up with a group of people. We'll sit there, we'll take a survey or a scan and say, what do we have to do to help you? Like, we'll help you identify the needs, and then we'll just respond to them. I'm the chairperson of Northeast Zonal Forum's Fellowship Development. And again, it's reports that I don't like. I don't know if you're catching on. I don't like writing reports, but my job is to show up with an agenda based off of what we worked on the month before and the conversations of things that have happened in between, throw it to the committee, and I listen to the committee. What do you guys want to work on? I listen to the group conscience. Like, that's it. Like, we call them trust leaders, right? But I don't actually feel like I do a lot of leading. I feel like I do more responding. Like, here is the stuff we're working on. What do you think? And then the committee tells me, like, this is where we're going. So that's what we do. Whatever the committee decides, that's what I stand by, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. It's not my position. Some of the stuff that my region wanted to do with the conference, I didn't personally agree with, but I'm not there to serve me. I'm there to serve them. So I carry their conscience. You know, I learned a lot about humility, and I learned about selfishness. I learned about all of those things, like, through service. And again, it wasn't me leading other people. That's not it. Like, that's not how I view any leadership role in Narcotics Anonymous. I believe, for me, it's like, I have to be transparent with you, and I have to communicate with you, and you'll tell me what you need. And it's my job to get that done. That's it. I'm a worker. That's all. That's what I do best. That's why I love being on active committees, and I don't necessarily like being the one holding the flag. No, that never ends well either. But but what does it say in the 12th step? Helping others is perhaps the highest aspiration of the human heart. It's a gift we've been entrusted with as a result of God's will for us in our lives, something like that. It's true. helping other people has given me a purpose. Being able to serve in Narcotics Anonymous has made me feel like I have something to offer, not just here, outside of Narcotics Anonymous. One of my ethics courses, I wrote an essay about what I do for like in fellowship development and like what the committee works on and all this stuff. And he called me like on the phone after class, and he wanted me to sit down with him and a local politician to explain this type of a program that we do in fellowship development, because it could be a good program to help build a community. I started laughing, like that's the whole purpose of what we do, is to help build our community. Like that's the whole purpose of what we do. And it felt really good because other addicts see the point of what we do and they appreciate it, you know. But when other people outside of Narcotics Anonymous see the type of service that we're able to provide and the support structure that we have in place, it's really mind-blowing to them. And I took a lot of that for granted before I got here. And it wasn't until I got involved with that service structure and I sat in business meetings at my home group, through my area, through my region, and at the conference and through the zone. It wasn't until I did all of those little things that I really began to like appreciate and understand what we have here. And it's amazing, amazing opportunity for us to give back. Now, I'm gonna end with a little story that my girlfriend taught me when I was trying to impress her. We were dating. So she had asked me to read like this book about the language of love. I was like, oh. But she was like, you know, she's attractive and I didn't want to be single. So I'm like, I'm going to read this book. So I read about the language of love, and it turned out that she had like skimmed the book, but I actually read it every single word because I couldn't put it down. There's a section in there about like service, like acts of service is like a language of love. And I'm like, wow, that's me. Helping other people is what I love to do because it's my way of showing that I love you and I care about you. And that's why I do what I do for Narcotics Anonymous, because I love Narcotics Anonymous so much. All right. And it's not my idea. It's not my fellowship, right? I'm a part of this thing. And so my job is to show up and support this thing. And if respect to group conscience, right? Whatever way that thing goes, I go with it. If it's really bad, I can leave and start my own fellowship. I mean, no one's going to show up to mine, but this one's pretty awesome, right? And I learned that like giving back makes me feel like I'm a part of something so much bigger than myself. With the idea of leading, man, Narcotics Anonymous continues to lead me. I just show up and support it. That's all it is. You know, so thank you for letting me share. I could talk to you about service more than anything else. I love you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for sharing.
Chris.
Great job. Great job, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Risa.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. Thanks, both of you, for sharing. We got a little extra time. Would any participants care to share their own experience, strength, and hope on our workshop topic? If so, remember, raise your virtual hand. I believe it was in the reactions.
Lenore, I see your hand is raised.
Oh.
Would you like to?
Hi, I'm an addict. My name is Lenore. Thank you so much for this slot. I just wanted to quickly, before I have to go back to work, thank Cattell. I apologize. I sent you a message. It said Kevin, that was an error. And Chris, both of you, thank you so much for a great, great message. I totally agree. I'm a trusted servant and I absolutely love Narcotics Anonymous. And the trusted servants make such a difference. And I'm looking forward to growing in this fellowship. And thank you all trusted servants for putting this on. And thank God for Narcotics Anonymous. And I love you all. And again, Cattell, thank you for coming from Norway to be of service. Love you and appreciate you. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Lenore.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Lenore.
Lenore.
Got anybody else who's interested in sharing experience, strength, and hope?
George, I see your hand is raised. Would you like to share?
Hey, everybody, my name's George. I'm an addict.
Hey, George.
Cattell, thank you for sharing. Didn't I hear you speak in Orlando a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I was sharing in Orlando on Thursday.
All right. Well, I remember you. So
Thank you.
very nice for you to be here. Thank you. And Chris, you did a great job, buddy. You might have been nervous, but it flows from your mouth very well. And Chris allows me to sit in some of his service meetings, and he does a fine job of facilitating. And I just wanted to chime in a little bit on you guys. I appreciate your service, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George. All right, Risa, if you see any other hands up, I can't see any hands being raised for some reason. So if anybody else is trying to share, just call their name out for me.
Sure. Nobody's raised their hand so far, but maybe you want to share, Stephen.
Hi, my name's Stephen. I'm an addict.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah, I very much enjoy and am thankful and have tremendous gratitude for the ability to serve. I started off as quick as I could getting into chair meetings. I felt like I needed to be a part of it. If I was going to have this thing work for me, then I needed to be involved. If I was just going to sit in the back of the room or sit on a couch and close my eyes, then what's the point of me really being there? And it didn't take long before I found this desire to do more. And I believe Chris was talking about, I started with H&I very early on. And one thing about H&I is I always had this will to go out, because I pretty much knew I was probably going to run into somebody I knew from my active addiction days. Everybody was making it into some kind of detox or something at some point. But I thought if they could see me as an example, then maybe it would help them along the way. And then I moved on to other service positions, and it's been a real way for me to express my humility, because it's not for me. I say the fellowship is not something that I do. It's not something that I can control. The will of the group conscience and the will of our higher power is going to lead it where it needs to go, as long as I continue to get the heck out of the way. And having somebody put trust in me and a belief in me that I'm going to be able to go out and take what they would like to see happen and then bring back in completeness everything that was passed down, be it in area, region, what have you, and keep that line of communication open has been something that has really kept me focused. And that's what's kept me focused and going down the path of sponsorship and pretty much every other service position that you can hold or active service. Get involved. But thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Stephen.
Stephen.
Stephen,
Gotta
you're
unmute
muted.
yourself.
Well, I was just talking to myself. All right. I'd like to thank today's workshop speakers and everyone who attended and participated. All right. Don't forget the 7th tradition and support for GRCNA. You can donate via PayPal using registration at grecna.org. You can donate via Venmo using at Georgia Regional CONV. So it's not full convention. It's at Georgia Regional CONV -40. If asked for the last 4 digits of the associated phone, use 0387. Again, that's 0387. Or you can always donate via the website by registering or making a newcomer donation at https://grecna.com/shop. Again, that's GRCNA, GRCNA.com/shop. Thank you. All right, let's close with a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change,
The
courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Just for today.
Keep coming back.
Coming back.
Keep coming back. Thank you
Working.
for a great meeting, everyone.